Hey Gary, how's it
Hey,
going?
good.
It's
How
good
are
to
you?
see you. You want up close or you want back?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, doesn't matter to you. Gary Shipman, he's the creator of Titan Mouse of Might.
Yeah.
Found this at my local comic book shop. I was telling you, Gary, Blood Moon Comics, as you said. This is the number one issue, right? But now you have more than that out on Fund My Comic right now, don't you?
Yes. Actually, working on, I guess it would be issue 7, 8, and 9, which would be volume 3. We're collecting every 3 issues or chapters into a volume.
Mm-hmm.
So volume 1 and 2 are done, and I'm working on volume 3 right now.
Now I have to ask the elephant in the room question, Gary. Any comparisons to Batman at all?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. All
No,
right.
I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I'm glad we
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
pushed that out of the room.
definitely. I'm
Yeah.
definitely influenced by Batman, but there's some Wolverine in there too.
How about
Um,
Daredevil?
maybe some
Yeah.
Daredevil, maybe,
Yeah.
but I think like his attitude is more like Wolverine ish. Um, and but he has a look just because he's a mouse. He
Yeah.
kind of looks like Batman. I tried to change the colors up, but it is a black and white book originally, but the covers are color, obviously. I tried to
So
change the colors up a bit, but it is what it is.
somehow, I mean, some of your crew followed you over here. You know them, Nighthawk Warrior Comics. We just
Yes.
want to say hi to them. Humphrey
Hello.
Bear. That can trip on the tongue if you're not careful. We have Soy Based Jeremy. Hey, Soy. Uh, and we have you on your wife's account there right now, right, Rhoda Shipman?
Yeah, that's me
Yeah.
hijacking my wife's channel.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. And Carrie, as always, in the house. Uh, she's from the UK, in the UK. So, have you had any international success with your books? I mean, sending out internationally?
I've sent stuff out,
Yeah.
like I've shipped that way, and it's been fine. I don't like doing it because the
Oh,
shipping is just
oh, yeah.
brutal.
And it
I
and it varies, doesn't it? It really varies.
Yeah, I think the highest that I sent it cost me was like $78 to ship something somewhere. I don't even know what it was. I can't
Wow.
remember.
Yeah.
So it's just really a
I know.
pain. And
I,
then
I
if
I sent my little ash can, which wasn't very big at all. Of
yeah,
course, sandwiched between cardboard and waterproof, but $31, I think, to send to
yeah,
Switzerland.
that's
I'm sending
crazy.
another one to Sweden here pretty soon, next week. So yeah,
But I did sign something recently that will have something to do with international. So that's about all I can say about it right now.
yeah. Uh, Soy-based Jeremy says, I'd argue he has the attitude of a rabid mouse that's hungry for cheese. Got to watch out for those. Absolutely. Greetings from the UK, Gary. Uh,
Hey, hello.
it's good to have everybody in here and some new people to the channel. You might hit that like button and might consider subscribing. We had Mike Barron on, fortunately, yesterday, and uh, and RJ from Critical Blast, who's sort of a comic distributor within the community here on crowdfunding. And then tomorrow on the Rex Hex and Apex show, we have Amy and Keith Gleason from formerly from Alterna. Uh, Mighty Mascots. And then Monday we'll have Russ Leach on. Only Death Can Save Us. So stay tuned. Same time, same bat channel right here every day at 4 o'clock. Hello to my co-host Shadowhawk.
Hey, Ulrich. Hello, Mr. Shipman. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Sorry,
Now
I'm a
we
couple
have to
minutes late.
convince him to get on board, Gary. I don't think he's back Titan Mouse of Might yet, in any way, or form, or fashion. But I know he loves your stuff.
Nope, not yet.
Nope, he
Yep.
doesn't love my stuff. I'm
Unfortunately,
just
I've been
kidding.
in the middle of changing jobs here, so
Now
soon I'll be back in action.
we have a slideshow. Yeah, I told him about your new job. We're all excited about that. How are you doing
Oh,
today,
good.
Congratulations.
Gary and Felix? All right, so that's just the chat. Okay, good. Everybody's good. That's good. Now, Gary's got a little slideshow for us, and you were talking about colors, Gary. How do you do your colors?
I
Them
use
yourself?
well for this one, that one there, that was done in Photoshop. But I will use Clip Studio, but mostly primarily Photoshop.
I'm envious of anybody that can do that, Gary. Now that was issue 1, was it not? The very first one we saw,
That was volume one.
volume 1. Okay,
So that'll have the first three chapters, or they were broke
let's
up
switch.
into issues.
All
So
right,
each of
I
the
don't know.
volumes has three. So that's volume one. And then that's volume two. It says volume two right there.
All right,
And
and
that's
this
volume
kind of.
three. That's what I'm working on right now.
All righty. I could not find your. Okay, here's 4.
Actually, that is Packins Land 25th anniversary. That's
Right.
another campaign that I'm about to launch on Kickstarter, but they're dragging their feet on approving. I have the first 5. It'll be for issues 1 through 5, and they'll be in full color, and that'll be to commemorate the 25 years that it's been in existence.
Yeah, I have seen you either posting on Twitter or I have seen something on this. Um, I meant slide 4, not issue 4. Sorry about that.
No
And then
problem.
this would be issue 2.
Yeah, issue 2.
Uh huh. Little Johnny Quest going on there, huh? I got the dog and
Yeah, yeah,
pterodactyl, maybe. I don't know.
that's a dark flyer.
All right, number 3. I'm glad you didn't say demon flyer. I have demon flyers to go with devil flyer. So, and that's a secret. I shouldn't have said that, but anyway, number 4 and 5. So,
Yeah,
will this be a bundle? I guess over there, if they approve it.
yeah. You can pick it up as a bundle.
Oh,
I did an
artist
artist
edition.
edition of
Uh,
volume 1, so that
we
has the
have
first 3 chapters.
we have some people like Shadowhawk and Smoking Wraith and others that love and adore black and white stuff. Gary,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I
he
think black
likes.
and white's my favorite.
Yeah, you can really see the detail, the line work. Look at this stuff, Shadowhawk.
I am. It's
That's
amazing. Love
it.
it.
It really is.
Well, thank you.
Oh, love that Moby
Oh, look
Dick,
at
or
that.
at
Yeah.
least the whale. That's amazing. That's great. I love it. That is
Thanks.
amazing. I could look at that all day, Gary. That is so cool. I love your. Is that gouache or watercolor that you're doing for the?
It's mixed medium. Now this
Okay.
isn't Photoshop. This is in the real world, but I
Mm-hmm.
use a mixture of like India inks and acrylic,
Oh wow.
and it kind of gives it can have like a gouache effect to it.
Okay. Working, I guess, fairly wet for
Yeah,
the
at
background.
times the thing that's good about using the inks, they're colored, uh, and once they dry, they're like locked in. So I can throw a blue down, let it dry, and then I can go over it with like darker grays, or like a ink wash, and then that'll dry, and then I can go and hit it with another color, like a kind of a creamy green or something,
It is
and
kind
just
of
layer it. Yeah,
way. It is kind of like a traditional Photoshop, isn't it? Layering, as you say, and yeah, a waiting period, isn't it? For certain areas
Yeah,
to
I
dry
love
so
all
it
the
doesn't
texture you
buckle.
got out of that, Gary. The whale is just amazing.
thank you.
Uh,
So this was a piece. This is
Gary, you
actually
promised. You're leading into it here. What the hell?
this was a piece that a publishing company wanted to do an exclusive printing of
Mm-hmm.
Titan. So this is issue number 2, and they wanted it to be basically like Dark Knight Returns. They wanted me to
Right.
emulate that. And so this
Frank
was issue
Miller's
number two.
great cover.
Yeah, I might have a representation of it. But anyways, so they did issue number 1 and 2, and these were the covers, but it's exclusive with that publisher. They're doing all the distribution and all that stuff. So
Is
it's
that
not like
also using sort of your colored inks and acrylic technique on this particular?
that's the same technique.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to see if I can find the actual book and the name
Okay.
of the company as well.
All right.
Because people could probably contact them if they want to get one.
That's awesome. I imagine it's fairly limited on numbers.
Yeah, I guess.
Pretty exclusive.
Yeah, it is limited. So I have if you want to see them, let me turn my camera back on.
Yeah, the Abomination. All
So
right.
here they are with
Oh, yeah.
they're getting kind of a glare on them. I should probably take it out of this bag.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I think we know. That's such an iconic cover.
Oh,
so they sent me these. This is the first one. And so it's just it's very similar to Dark Knight.
It's definitely tall.
And there's the company right there. It's cyberspacecomics.com.
Okay.
And there was only 1,000 of these were printed.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So if you contact them, you can get yourself a Titan, this variant cover.
Were you happy with the end product?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the height differential there? It seems a little
height?
tall. Not your standard.
No, this is standard comic size. Maybe it's
okay.
my camera is skewing it or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the front.
Little tall to me, but
I could hold up a regular comic book and we can compare.
Okay.
If you want.
You got a regular comic book around there? Just your own?
Probably.
I see a Marvel Essential back there or two.
Yeah. Are these standard? Are these comic book size?
It might be a little bigger. Yeah, I think.
Well, definitely thicker, right?
Definitely thicker.
We'll find out together. There you go.
I guess
check it out.
So there's that, and there's that.
Almost. Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much same stuff.
I did not do this. But what I love about this is it's black and white. I love the black and white.
Absolutely, to be able to see the line art and everything. Do you like grayscaling?
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like in the interior or just doing like shadows and stuff? What do you mean?
Oh, well, I mean, do you use much of it, I guess?
Like an ink wash or something?
Yes.
I haven't done very much of it with Titan, but I have done, like as we go through this slideshow, you'll see plenty of probably pieces that I have done grayscale with. And I might implement it at some point in the Titan story, like with a flashback or something like that.
Well, one thing that really impressed me about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s, which I think made it stand out from all the others, was the gray toning, to me, the Zipitone. I assume it was traditional Zipitone, but I had not quite seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I like the way that Zipitone looks, but I don't like working with it.
Right.
Because I hate having to use an X-Acto blade and cut it. I just don't like it. It's not fun. I have done it before, and it was just wasn't a good time for me.
What's my comic book about? Okay, that's a question for me. So let me just I'll show you. It's basically a hero universe. This is an oversized just proof of the ash can that's up on Indiegogo. Devil Flower #1 will be coming out next year. So we get you right into the story. 7 pages of story, A Devil's Weapon, all in black and white. Gary, you like that black and white stuff.
Right
So
on.
we start out with the hero in peril and chains already, and then bam to a Jack Kirby couldn't resist it, like double page spread of him over the city. Nice quote. These are the times that try men's souls, from Thomas Paine. Basically deals with uh, a mob group, undergroup mob, and then after you get a look see at the trading card that John did that also drew the sort of golden age feel to it, Devil Flyer story, and one by Vic King there, and but it's not all about Devil Flyer. We have Bog. This is a piece I did, and a piece Doc Blaylock did, acrylic painting done in black and white. So we have different pinups. We have a preview of the wraparound cover, which I'm inking now, and Peter Palmetti's inking. So you have the heroes and villains squaring off there in this particular wraparound cover. We also have a cover done by John Dillard that'll be revealed later, and we have other characters like Lady of the Night, Retro Silver Boa, Shadow. You like him? He's going up against the Yakuza assassin.
Oh yeah.
It's all over the place, past, present, and future. It's all one story told together. This is kind of my Watcher character, Cosmic Watcher character. Um, but it's an interlinking story that's all one universe, momentum universe. So I hope that answers your questions. Um, you can find that up on Indiegogo if you so desire. Links down in the description. Still up there, you get two magnets. Get a momentum magnet and a Devil Flyer magnet, and 2 trading cards and 3 bookmarks. There you go, all in black and white, double side print. Uh, but we're here to talk about Titan, and primarily. But thank you for asking. Uh, I like on this last panel here, you really emote emotion very well with your characters, Gary. In this,
Thank you.
you elicited some good expressions, and really it seems like to me, just thumbing through my copies of the stories that you've done, you really put Titan through his paces, don't you?
Yeah, I put him through the ringer.
Yeah.
How much can a mouse take?
Tried by fire. Now this reminds me, you do panels with in the shapes of letters, reoccurring letters, which you see here. It's very, very nicely designed. Where did you what is your artistic background, Gary?
Well, I just draw. I'm very heavily influenced by the comic people that inspired me, you know, like John Byrne, Frank Miller, Arthur Adams, Mike Mignola, Bernie Wrightson, Neil Adams. I mean, I can just list all the great comic book artists, and they inspired me and made me want to do it. And then it basically
I think
is
we
just
can put you up there with them. Maybe not as far as volume of books, but you're working on that. Takes a little time to build a career, huh? How long have you been drawing? Since childhood?
Well, I guess so. I was in my teens. I started.
Okay. All right.
And when I saw John Byrne's X-Men back in it might have been even, maybe it was in the 80s, like 1980. I don't know. But I saw, a friend of mine had a bunch of X-Men comics. I never heard of it before. And he just had a sleepover with him, and he had all these comic books. I'm like, man, these are amazing. This is incredible. And it just like something clicked inside me. I just was reading those comic books the whole time. And then I just fell in love with it. I'm like, where do you even get these? He's like, you get them at the, the 7-Eleven or Quick Stop. Or I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing like a rack or something, but I just didn't care back then. But then when I saw those X-Men, I was like, this is amazing. And I just fell in love with it. And then I started, copying stuff out of the books and trying to draw the characters the way that he did. And then I found other books and I started becoming a collector, found Frank Miller's Daredevil. And I was like, oh, this is great. And George Perez, Teen Titans or New Teen Titans. That was great. Just so much stuff. It was so good. And it was a good time. And then about the beginning of the 90s, I would say, late 80s, early 90s, I just got disillusioned with the whole thing. And I gave up. And I just went off but by that time, I had some skills a bit. And so I got a job working for an educational book company doing supplementary material for teachers for mostly primary grades. And I worked there for like 10 years. And then I went to the president of the company. I'd done that's just so much work for them, like 300 products for them. And I did covers for their books and then posters that were in the books and stuff. And then I'd done a few that I'd liked. And I went to the president and I said, is there a way that I could maybe buy back some of the artwork that I've created for you guys? And they had their offices lined with my artwork. Like you walk down the hallway and there's just frame after frame of my artwork all over the place. And he said, no. And I'm like, I mean, I'll buy it. I'll pay for it. He said, no, everything that you've done for us is ours. And no, you can't have it. And at that moment, something clicked inside me. It was like, you got to go make your own thing. You got to go do your own thing.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to do that. And that's when I came up with Packens Land. And that was it got published about 25 years ago. But I had been working on it before that. And it was originally published through Caliber Press or Caliber Comics. And, and I think, and when Caliber ended, because they made some, I guess, some decisions that ended up making the company go under. Then I went to Image and I published one issue with Image. And then I went to self-publishing. And it's been the best with self-publishing.
I'm kind of fighting against your, what would you say is the big advantages? Just that you have more creative control?
With self-publishing?
Selling directly to.
Well, the thing is that as a creator, everything that you do, you get paid last. So the printer is going to get paid in full before they release the books that they print. The distributor is going to get paid in full before they distribute anything. But the creator and even the publishers are going to take their cut, and then they're going to give you what's left over or whatever your percentage is. And it's going to be hardcore. And as soon as I just started doing it myself, finding my own people, even though it's a small group, relatively, I'm making a better go of it than I did, having a publisher, even like Image was not a good fit for me. And so, I've been doing better self-publishing because I save all the money. All the money goes to me, except for, I have to pay a printer to print it, and they do get their money up front. But then everything else is in-house, and so that's the benefit of it.
I was kind of fighting your slideshow there, Gary. Sorry about that. Sorry, crew. Uh,
So I can
so now
explain some of the pictures.
yeah, I'm bringing up your campaign right now.
Okay.
There we go. I'm trying to hide Nighthawk's. My computer is not working for me right now. Amazing.
Maybe I should see if I can present.
Michael Golden. Yeah, you can throw out names all day, Nighthawk.
Oh yeah.
I put the
We looked
campaign.
at your. Well, if you take the slideshow down, Gary, maybe that'll help. I think that might be interfering a little bit. Never did quite get control of that. Can you take that down?
I did.
You did.
Oh,
It's still up on my end, and it's still
yeah.
sort of filing through.
Hail, Eric, Gary, Nighthawk
There we
Warrior,
go.
soy-based
Maybe
Gary.
we'll catch up.
That's a new one, Jeremy.
You have control over that one? Okay. And I'll take mine down.
Oh, you can use yours if you want. Doesn't matter
No,
to
that's
me.
fine. That's fine. What do you want us to know about this campaign, Gary?
Well, Fund My Comic is relatively new, and
Yes, sir.
they're similar in the way that they function, like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. But the thing that's nice about it is it's a source for the most part comic books and maybe some games and stuff like that too. But I guess in the name it's fundmycomic.com. So I think that that's pretty cool, and I think it's a place that people who are wanting strictly comic books and independent comic books, it'd be an easier place to find something instead of having to scroll through pages and pages of all kinds of other stuff on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, which I guess you can click on a category and those things. It makes it easier. But I think that this is a cool idea. To have it there. And so I launched my campaign as soon as I kind of heard about it. I thought, well, I'm going to put up Titan up there. And I may even put Packens Land up here eventually. But for now, we have Titan. And it's, yeah.
Carrie's dropped your link. Gary's Comics on Amazon.com too.
Yeah, I would prefer if people were going to get it, that you get it either through Fund My Comics or Indiegogo. Amazon it's a good place to maybe be seen, but the money all goes to them, and so I'm not a big fan of that. But if you want to support a creator, an independent creator, the best thing I would suggest is go directly to them and buy it from them, because they'll benefit the most from it.
Right. And we want to support this new platform. As you said, you're kind of having trouble with Kickstarter now getting approved, correct?
Well, they say, like right now I have it open. I don't know if it shows that. Oh no, it stays on that. I have it open on one of my tabs, and it says to allow 1 to 3 business days, and it's been 5 business days, and it's still, the project is in review. It's just sitting there. And I understand that they probably get busy. Maybe they have a season when people are dropping campaigns a lot. So it might just be that that's all that's going on with it. And that, they'll come back. They haven't refused anything that I've done in the past. But this could be a first. who knows?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring up. There we go, and then I'll have control of it. You have a
Okay.
contest going on. All physical book backers will automatically be entered to win an original Titan Interior comic page.
Yeah.
Winner will
Oh,
receive original one-of-one comic book art individually signed by Gary Shipman, value at over $600 USDA. You want to talk about that a
dang.
little bit?
I got to get in there.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for someone to jump in. And because I think all the pages that I've done for Titan are strong pages. I'm not trying to just put out pages. I'm actually trying to do quality work every time I put pen to page or whatever. Um, I'm trying to do my best work, and I do
Right.
believe that this is my best comic book work that I've ever done. Um, and I think that if more people would crack the book open and read it, I think that they would be uh, happy and
Well, you have a
surprised.
starter set on here, regular hardcover copies, volume 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
us
what I
about
want to
the
do.
starter set special
Yeah,
one.
that's for hardcovers, and these are oversized as well. They aren't comic book size. They're a little bit bigger, um,
All in glorious black and white
in
inside, correct?
glorious black and
Yeah,
white.
Uh-huh.
that's beautiful. That's what I think I'm going to end up backing.
But there's
Yeah.
also a deluxe edition, which is pretty cool too because it gives you the the kind of the making of process as well. You get the actual same stuff you get in the regular hardcover in the front, but then in the back, it's called the Book of Secrets, is what I call it. And it's
Is this
basically,
a dry brush technique on this page, Gary?
um, well, I use a brush, and sometimes it gets dry.
Okay, there you
I'm not sure what part you're referring to, like specifically.
go. Well, like the arms here jutting out.
Hellbilly.
There could be some in there, like yeah, you just move the brush quick, and it gives you that dry brush effect. But I also splattered it and did things like that as well.
Well, let's just take a look at this page here. I assume this is all one page, isn't it, or
Where it's kind of scrolling,
where it
so I don't.
begins?
Okay, where are we at? Right
All
there,
right.
that page. That's a double page splash right there with the
Oh,
gorilla.
okay.
With
Wow,
the
look at that.
gorilla. Yeah, so it's going to split right between the eyes of Titan right on that one.
Wow.
I see a little Bernie Wrightson in that creepy guy's face.
I just see a lot of Bernie right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bernie Wrightson was one of the best.
He
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And most of the guys you tossed out on your list, they're on mine as well, Gary. So
I
Oh
like
yeah,
very cinematic, Gary. You're focusing on the emotion, the moment. You're still, and then boom, you're a lot of motion going on, a lot of things happening. The pacing of it,
thank you.
what I
beautiful.
really enjoy is how intimidating you can make a mouse look, Gary. That's just
Tell us about Titan. What is this? I assume a page like this is like on his backstory.
Okay, so basically, what Titan is is he is a character who comes from the world of Packens land. So if you want to get the whole thing, you got to go back to Packens land. But um, it is something you can read on its own. You know what I mean? It's a self-contained Titan. The title is self-contained. You don't have to read Packens land, but if you wanted to, you could. But he comes from that world. And I'll just give you a brief little thing about Packens land. Packens land is a story about a boy who finds a cave that leads into another dimension or another world where the animals are intelligent, and they have a whole kind of uh, adventures that are going on there, like with kings and things like that, and people being dethroned and all kinds of things. And Paul, the boy Paul, is there to help them, but he also wants to get back home. Now, with Titan, it's about Titan who's from that world of Packens Land where an accident happens, an explosion, which he feels is his fault. And he feels that, and all of his kind, the mouse kind of Packens Land, are there, intelligent mice. And this explosion happens, killing all of them.
Oh no.
In his mind, as far as he knows, they're all dead. But it ends up hurtling him into the world of man, where Paul came from. And so his adventures are on the other side. And so he's trying to help free animals and things like that from a mad scientist named Professor Nimoy. And if you look at his picture, he
Yeah, he looks like
kind of looks like him a little bit.
You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to put somewhere "I am not Spock" in the background. The book.
Yeah. I'm a doctor. No, but so yeah, so he's gotten involved with this Professor Nimoy, and there's a whole story. It's really cool. The reason why Professor Nimoy is doing what he's doing is a whole nother thread, which is really cool, that weaves into Packens Land as well. And anyways, Titan's finding that not all the things that Professor Nimoy is doing are cool. You know what I mean? Like he's not maybe he never signed the Hippocratic Oath or anything like that. So Titan's having to then adjust himself to save the animals that are being experimented on by this facility that he finds himself in.
Right.
And also find his way home if he wants to get there, because everybody's dead anyway, so he doesn't know. And he also suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. So that's his weakness. So that's his kryptonite. So he actually has powers. Like when the explosion happened, it also infused him with strength beyond that of normal, and so he's strong. And
would you say like the strength of 4 men, or
he's got the strength of 4 mice. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure. He's really strong though. Like he could rip a wall. He could rip through a wall. He can, when he's at his full confidence. But when the post-traumatic stress hits him, like he'll have a flashback and he'll
paralyzing, isn't it?
Yeah, it paralyzes him, and then they can just beat him down.
Shadowhawk, you love black work. Look at this. I mean, just
oh wow.
I love how you brought
So
that
that's
panel, how you
so yeah, this is Titan, and that's like one of his memories up there. And so him kind of dealing with that post-traumatic stress stuff.
And I love just the imagery of him sort of reaching for that, physically reaching for that memory. Very, very interesting. I love the sort of fractured panel. It's wonderful work, Gary.
Thank you.
Actually, you're one of the artists that I most admire right now, as far as your technique and the story you're telling. And I see you use cross hatching. Do you use quill? Every just sort of traditional ink thing that you could?
Yeah, I use quill. I use brush. I used those. What are those liners or whatever? Like
okay, Copics.
Yeah, or Micron. I've been using a lot of Micron lately.
Okay. Little fine tips.
Yeah.
I would think the mice, like in this panel here, would have a lot of fine hairs, a lot of fine lines to lay down. How satisfying is when a panel all comes together for you?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a thrill. I love working on this so much. And even sometimes when I feel like, do I have anything left to say? Do I have anything? Then a whole new wave of ideas and inspiration come, and it's just been wonderful. So I'm having a blast doing this.
What's kind of your work ethic? Take us through a day in Gary Shipman's life of where he
okay, so
found to do his work, or
what I'll do is I kind of wake up and I get breakfast and things like that. I have a time where I just am quiet, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll start gearing up for the day. And mostly I have to deal with a lot of computer stuff, like answering emails from either something, and then maybe I'll share out some things on social media and things like that. And then I have like, whoops, I hit my mic. I have some projects that I'm working on that are not my own, and so they have deadlines and stuff like that. Um, I've been working on a lot of Marvel trading cards, or I mean sketch cards for like Upper Deck, and they have deadlines on them. And so I just finished one yesterday, I guess, but now I have another set for them, but it's not Marvel, it's Halo. That's going to have to get done before I can actually jump back into Titan again and do a page. But if I did have time to work on Titan, I would then either I would rough out pages, like several, like because sometimes I'll get an idea and it'll be a chunk of story, and then I'll see how many pages would it be able to tell this sequence, and do I have to? Sometimes, like I've done, it's crazy the way I work. Probably this isn't a good way to work, but this is how I do it. Like I have an idea, and then I go and I start drawing the idea, and then from drawing the idea I get other ideas, and it's like, oh, and then after this happens, then this will happen. And then I might even on a page I might lay out two panels and say he does this and then he does this, and then I realize after I've inked it there needs to be a panel or two in between this, so I'll have to either physically cut it out like with an X-Acto and put it on another page and cobble together the correct page, or if I'm smart enough, I'll thumbnail it out
Okay,
beforehand and
already.
then find where, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to put those two panels in here or something like that. I've had to take a whole issue and move it and then put a whole nother issue in front of an issue. So volume 2 was supposed to end with it was supposed to, the next volume 3 was going to be Worlds Collide, and that was my intention. And I was going to have the worlds of Packens Land and Titan were going to come together, and I was going to bring these two worlds together. But then once I started on the third volume, I realized there's this whole story that I have to tell, and it's the miasma story. And so that's what I'm working on now. And then I think I've even come up with a fourth volume, which isn't going to be Worlds Collide. It's going to be something totally other. But I haven't even finished the third one yet. And now I've already gotten ideas for the fourth one. So the ideas are coming, and it's going to be a fun ride. And I'm happy for it, because when you don't got the ideas, things start to dry up, and it makes the whole thing kind of like, what are you doing?
How closely do you consult your inspiration, the other comics and other literature or art?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you do a little bit every day, or not at all, or
No, I wouldn't say
like
every day.
with your own personal reading time, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't really have a lot of time where I'm reading, but I will go, like I have these books right here. I can just grab them at any time and flip through something and get
Right.
inspired. But if I am feeling like, I'm just not feeling it, looking at other people, like I do have like artist editions and stuff. Like I have Bill Sienkiewicz artist edition. I have the Dark Knight artist edition. It's massive,
Well,
and I have
what's the best thing about those? I mean, you're seeing the original art, right? Bumps and all, the white out, the
yeah. What's good about them? It's just, I don't know, man. They're just
just
amazing.
seeing an actual size, right?
Yeah, I
Actual
can pull one
scale
out for you if you'd
that
like
they
to
worked
see.
on. Yeah,
Let me pull one out for you, and I'll show you
a lot of people really like those artist
how
editions.
massive these things are.
Yeah, well, they're the original art page size, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you love black and white artwork, those uh,
That's the way
artist
to go,
editions
isn't
are the way to fly. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to get the hardcover set on this one. That looks great.
it? Yeah, beautiful books that you can.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right
these
up
things
on the
are
CD
so
bookshelf.
big.
You know it.
Now, Gary, I found, issue 1, Blood Moon Comics at my local comic store, but it was in the children's section. Would you call this a children's book?
I don't know if I'd call it a children's book. I think a child could read it and it
Right.
would be okay. There's no language or anything in it, so that's probably why they
Oh,
think
okay.
that.
Uh,
Anyways, this is the Dark Knight Artist
wow.
Edition,
Wow.
Look at that.
That's a
and so this
table.
is this is bigger than 11 by 17.
Wow.
This is like 13 by 19 or something. It's
Yeah,
massive,
it
and
is
Wow.
massive.
so
Look
the
at that table.
artwork is just
Wait, you got to do the hammer horror,
Oh, look
like the
at
old creaky door opening. There
that.
you go.
I don't even have enough room to open this.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
It won't even fit in the camera frame.
So they
But now
also
you
have
could
like,
see the color differential between the pay steps on certain
yeah,
panels.
they also do like
Overlays.
yeah, they have this what is
Wow.
that, like vellum? And
Vellum
that's
overlay.
where this is like where Frank Miller inked it himself.
Wow.
And then like that would be Klaus Jansson's inks
Hmm.
right here. But then I guess Frank didn't like it, and so he went in and did his inks over it. And I guess that's what it
Oh,
ended
okay.
up as. The
Huh.
pages that are smaller, like this here, this page is smaller.
Right.
Ooh, those they didn't have the original to show, so that I guess they
Oh,
had just a
okay.
stat or something that they used. So, but a lot of the original work is here.
Well, that's great that this work still exists. A lot of production art, original art, was just shredded, destroyed, burned. Back in the day, it only became collectible about 1982, 3 or 4, somewhere in there, about 1982.
Yeah,
I have several production pieces of production art going back to the, oh gosh, something about going back to the 60s at least, or 50s. But we don't we don't much a lot of people don't think a lot about the printing aspect of it. We had RJ on yesterday, and he was from Sparta, Illinois, where all those great DC comics were printed for many years. And as far as I know, they may still be. Uh, let's see. Bring that up again, Gary. Let's take a look at where you're at here on Fund My Comic. Now, this is brand new campaign, correct? I mean, this isn't like a second chance or anything. This is for the latest and greatest version, uh, and then catch up volumes, if you will, hardback volumes. Must be
right.
satisfying to. You even have a mug there. That's amazing. Titan mug.
Yeah, I
Tell
have
me you got
several.
one of those and you had your morning coffee in it.
Yep, I do.
You did. Oh, good.
I do. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I have several mugs that I've done. Um, I did one for each of the campaigns, which would be volume 1, 2, and then 3. Except I haven't done 3 yet. So the mug you see there is for volume 1, and I like
Okay.
it a lot because it kind of has like this prototype kind of thing
Uh-huh.
to it. Like it just has that kind of a feel to it. Like these are some sketches, and this is the prototype of what Titan would be. And they're like some of the first drawings that I did of Titan, and I
When
really
did you
like that.
first draw the character? When did you come up with that?
I came up with it. I was doing like these drawings of like Calvin and Hobbes kind of mashup drawings. And so I would do like Wolverine, and but it'd be done in like a Bill Waterston style. And so it had like that kind of cute look to it. And so I was on a stream where they do like a drawings competition. It was called Drawn and Quartered. And I
Oh yeah.
drew, yeah, I drew
with
Titan.
our friend Hockey, or
No,
was
that
it
used to
Hockey?
be Mike Miller's channel.
Oh, Mike Miller.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike
All
Miller,
right.
yeah.
All right.
And so I think I was just messing around, and um, I drew Titan, and they were drawing something else, and I guess I didn't want to draw it, so I drew what I wanted, and so I drew Titan, and then they were all like, "Oh man, you got to do this! You got to do this!" And I said, "Well, you know, I have this character. It's called Mouse of Might, that from back in the, like 25 years ago, that I was going to do with Packens Land," and they said, "This is him, man. You got to do it." And so they all encouraged me, just like do it, you know. Let this be the next project you do. And because what I had done is I had just put out, where is it? I had just put out the Packens Land Omnibus. So
Oh,
this is Packens Land, hardbound, super huge. It's like over 500 pages, and it's
where can
basically.
people get that, Gary, if at all?
I think that's on it's on the campaign as well on Fund
Okay.
My Comic.
All right.
I don't
Sorry,
know if it's
Nighthawk,
by itself.
not winning me back to DC.
Let me look. I'm scrolling to see if it's here.
All right.
It may be in a bundle.
Right now,
No,
five
no, no.
backers,
It's by itself.
$1,107. That's not bad for 5 backers. No end date on this. How's number 3, the artwork coming on that? Are you nearly complete, halfway? Where are you at?
I'm over halfway. I've done
Oh,
the first 2 chapters are done, and I have the 3rd chapter I'm working on right now. So I'm 1/3. I'm sorry, one third to go.
1/3 to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the level of detail and just it seems like every panel just seems so right, Gary, that I, if I was to back this and it'd be like cash grab, I didn't get it for 2 years, as long as it came out and everything was as you wanted it and envisioned it, I'd be fine with it. I mean, it's beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
If you had one panel that wasn't beautiful in there, I'm sure it would stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
You know,
there
it's just
probably
a
are.
panel that doesn't work in that whole book. But everything just seems to be
Yeah.
seamless to me. And I know that's not easy. You make it look easy, Gary.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to do a quality job. So
Right.
it's not like I'm just trying to push out a product so that I can say, "Oh, I have a book." You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to do something that in time, if I look back on it, I'd like to say, "Wow, I really am glad that I did that. I'm glad that I invested that much effort and time into it." And I'm hoping that people that read it and um, that they'll feel the same way.
Nighthawk Warrior Comics says, I think Gary needs to win multiple Eisner Awards besides his Eisner nominated for Packens Land. So you were nominated for an Eisner.
Hey, Miss Good Stuff.
Yeah,
How long ago was that, Gary? Hey,
that was for Packens Land, and that was like 25 years ago.
really?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was nominated for the Eisner, a Russ Manning, and a Harvey.
Well, that must have been encouraging right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, it was very
Early on
encouraging
in your career. Yeah.
because when I was doing Packens Land, I had left the comic book industry because I thought it was worthless. After having read the good stuff, then I was like, everything that was coming out was just like they were phoning it in. It was just like terrible to me, and I wanted that high quality kind of stuff. And then I came back with Packens Land, and I kind of was doing it in a comic book way because that's what I knew, but I wasn't expecting it to be something that comic book people would like, because I wasn't doing it with all the tropes, I guess you would say, that a young comic book reader would want to have in it. And I was just doing a story that I would like to read. And I did Packens Land, and then it got nominated, and I was like blown away. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that anybody even read it, you know?
Carrie doesn't know about the awards. Can you explain a little bit about what you've been nominated for? I mean, it's a writing award, right?
Well, I guess Will Eisner was a big sequential comic book person, I guess. I don't know if I know very well, but I would think that at least my understanding of an Eisner, at least back in 25 years ago, was that it was the equivalent of getting, like, say, an Oscar for a movie. To be nominated, you're like being nominated for an Oscar in comic books. And then there's also the Harvey Award, which is also a big one. And then there's the Russ Manning, which is also, so it's like maybe Golden Globes, or I don't know, or People's Choice or something.
Topher in the house. Sunday is his birthday. Gary, would you wish him an early birthday?
Who is it?
Topher.
Oh, hey, Topher.
Happy birthday, Ofer, if I'm saying it right.
He's working on his own comic. So
nice.
It's really this crowdfunding thing has kind of changed the dynamic of everything, right? Independent comics, it seems like all the momentum is with the indies right now. Although the big two may not know about it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that there's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think they know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some books that are doing so phenomenally well. It's a little bit sad that people aren't more inclusive in other things. It seems like it has to be these two books that are doing well, and that's it. Nobody else. But I think that there are other books out there that people might be surprised at how well they are if they would give them a try.
Nighthawk, your friend Nighthawk says it's changing the industry, Devil Flying Momentum. I know they know because industry artists are doing crowdfunding comics too, like Plot Holes by Sean Gordon Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're happy about it.
I don't know that they've all jumped on, and they have a variety of platforms, right? I mean, Kickstarter. There's a lot of projects that go over to Kickstarter. It seems like now you're kind of playing the field, right? You done Indiegogo. You're doing Fund My Comic. You're doing you're doing Kickstarter. What's the advantages do you see at multiple platforms like this?
Well, I think if I understand correctly, and I can be corrected, Kickstarter has the largest traffic. So you would think that would be the best place to go, because the most people who do crowdfunding do it on Kickstarter. Then Indiegogo would be like second, maybe a close second. And so I just thought, hey, I'm going to try everything, I did Indiegogo first, and it worked out well for me, but that was before pandemic stuff. Once the pandemic hit, it has like just knocked the legs right out of well, not me particularly, because I'm just going to do it because I love doing it. Right. We were doing really good before pandemic, and then after that, it's like it hurt a lot of people,
Yeah.
And people, yeah. So, and I'm not talking about creators. I'm talking about people who are fans, who buy stuff. It hurt a lot of them to where they aren't able to do that anymore, and that's sad. If you guys will let me step away just for a minute, I
You
think my books came,
Oh,
so
good.
we could
Oh,
do an unboxing.
Oh, great.
all right.
Earlier, Gary had we I sent him the link a couple hours early, and we got to talk behind the scenes for about 30 minutes. And
No, very nice.
he thought the books came earlier, but it wasn't the books. And then he got a phone call, and I was looking for Gary's books that I backed on Indiegogo. All of them nicely autographed by him in gold on the cover. Sadly, I didn't find them. Only one I have is the one I bought at local comic book shop. But his stuff's just beautiful, Shadowhawk. If you like black and white,
Oh, yeah.
and you don't
The
mind,
more I see a Titan mouse, the more I like it. It's just
yeah.
his art is great, man.
Eric and Boyd says my camera quality is better today, Rex. I hope I didn't jinx it by saying as much. Well, we're going to work on that. I might give this this setup or something to LZ and get a new one. I don't know. We'll see. Just waiting for that first check to come in next week, Shadowhawk. You know
Hey,
how
okay,
that
buddy. What's happening, buddy?
the rabbit hole. Yeah. Gary has a loose organ style that is very dynamic and fluid. Yeah. Organic, not organ.
My organs are loose.
Well, as you may know, Shadowhawk, because you keep abreast of what's going on the channel.
I like to keep abreast.
Yes. And a thigh and a leg and
Yeah.
all that. We have on the Rex X and Apex show tomorrow, we have the Mighty Mascots.
Keith and Amy Gleason coming to grace the panel.
Absolutely. And then we're going to probably take it easy the next couple of 4 o'clock shadows as far as lining up talent, because Monday we have Russ Leach coming on.
Yeah.
Should have.
Wow.
Only death can save us. Can't wait to talk to him.
And then
But
Tuesday
now
will be right
Sunday
back
we have
to
to celebrate Topher's birthday.
yeah.
All right, I got a box.
All right. I know you're excited.
Woohoo.
I am. Where's my knife?
Now, are these your books, or is this something you ordered for yourself?
No, these are Packens Land issue number 4.
Oh,
hello.
Is that confirmed? You're sure? You're sure you know what's in the box?
Oh, careful, Gary.
Be careful. Always cut towards yourself, Gary.
Oh yeah.
Toward?
Never cut the book. Always cut yourself. I mean, wait.
There you go. Pastmaster Zan says Gary Shipman unboxing premiere event.
Woohoo! Hail Pastamasta.
Ooh, first look, folks.
My goodness. All that paper.
Oh.
Something to draw on later.
There you
go. Do you have pets, Gary, at all?
Do I have what?
Pet.
No.
You and your wife?
No, we used to have pets. You said pets, right?
Pets.
Yeah.
We used to, but my daughter moved and she took the cat with her.
Cat's been catnapped.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so there is issue number 4.
And what would be the page count on that thing, Gary?
I think it's like 24 pages.
Okay.
Oh no, this one's 40. This one's 40. It's a double. This is a big 40.
A big 40.
Do you print local there somewhere?
No, I print through Ingram Sparks.
Okay.
Oh.
I had pretty good results with them.
They've been pretty good for me, I think. I'm actually was looking into finding somebody who would do newsprint. I'd like to get back to that. This one looks like something went wrong there.
Well, like Alterna is kind of doing that, but it looks a lot nicer than the
Yeah, the alternate books are great. They're
The paper quality looks a little
basically.
nicer than back in the day than when we read them
Well, I
in
think
the.
newsprint's a little better than it used to be.
Yeah, and not everyone does it. It is hard to find a printer that will still do newsprint.
Hmm.
So here's what I did with this cover. So I don't know if you can tell what kind of animal that is that this is the eyeball of.
Right.
But originally, when I did the cover, I did it with
Ooh,
as a human, like a
humanized.
human was looking at this character.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized that doesn't really it doesn't fit the story, but that it would be this animal, which is a raccoon.
Oh, it's a
And
raccoon.
so
Okay.
yeah, so what I did is I
Thank you, Pat.
redrew it again. Not this part. That part I kept. It's the same, but I just redrew the character
Mhm.
and did it as a raccoon. And then I think it was even Nighthawk Warrior who's in the chat here. He said you should put the other one on the back cover. So that's what we did.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah. You know what?
Uh,
Uh, it's too late now, Gary. But what would have been really cool is if you had the human face on the back, but with the raccoon's face reflected in the eyeball.
oh, that is really good.
Too
Man, I
late
should.
now. Sorry, brother.
Well, second printing maybe.
hello,
There you go.
Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, I wish Gary would get his comics printed at Alterna Comics with Pete Sametti.
I
I
was going to
never,
suggest, but
I
Gary's on it.
never. I've reached out to him several times. He's never gotten back with me.
Wow.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
Because your stuff would go lovely over there, I think.
Oh yeah. I think
What
Titan would fit
what age group are
perfectly
you
in
reaching
Alpha.
for, Gary, in this overarching story with Titan?
I think it's the same with Titan. I think it's the same with Packin's Land. I'm just trying to
Okay.
do something that everybody can read or enjoy, sort of
Uh-huh.
similar to like the MCU. You know, everybody can go see a Marvel movie. Everybody can go see Star Wars or Indiana Jones. That's what I'm doing.
Hey,
It's
Lorenzo.
for everybody.
Okay. Young children, not too violent or anything.
It could be violent, but
Kids love
not.
violence, and I mean, we all grew up watching Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
None of us ever like whacked anybody with a mallet or dropped a safe on grandma. I don't think.
Or an annual or an anvil.
Anvil, yeah. It's raining anvil.
Were you influenced by what cartoons were you influenced by?
Well, it depends on how old I was,
Yeah.
but just throughout, probably early on, I loved Tom and Jerry. I
Right.
loved the Bugs Bunny stuff, the funny stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
Road
but I liked,
Runner.
oh yeah, I liked Woody Woodpecker. I liked the Flintstones. Basically everything. I liked
You're
it all.
avoiding Mighty Mouse.
Oh no, I liked Mighty Mouse too. I liked Underdog.
Okay.
Underdog was
Yeah,
awesome.
Underdog, great.
I
Yeah.
loved Underdog.
Yeah.
I liked Gumby and Pokey.
Oh
That
yeah,
was really
Gumby and
that was
Pokey.
stop
You
motion.
know why they refused to consider Underdog for like new development stuff at the new studios? Uh, I don't know how true this is, but I heard a while back that some executive at like one of the big movie studios looked into Underdog, and because he got his powers from taking his super vitamin pill, they felt like that would be encouraging kids to do drugs. So they so they're gonna stay away from Underdog.
I think they did a live action Underdog movie. I think I came
Yeah, they
across
did
it in.
later. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this was like years ago. Yeah, when
Okay. Yeah. I can see that because Tobor, the eighth man, he like lit up a power thing like
oh
a
yeah, he had
cigarette.
the what was it, atomic
And
cigarette?
that's why that was canceled. And that was
Yeah.
my favorite back then when I was extremely. But
Well, and I agree. You probably shouldn't encourage kids to smoke cigarettes or anything.
right. Well, new legislation, it just hit at the wrong time. But and he didn't do it in every episode. Hi, Mark Walters. Uh, did you
Hell, right.
like You said your preferences, but did you I noticed the Space Ghost there. Space Ghost.
Yeah, I love Space Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
The Herculoids, I
Kiloid,
like
Lloyd,
yeah.
yeah.
them. Johnny Quest was
Johnny
great.
Quest, yes.
Basically, I think pretty much I liked everything, and I think
Hmm.
that that is reflected in what I do. So a lot of what I do is sort of just a cobbling together of all the things that influenced me throughout my life, and I think that's probably if
So,
everybody was to be honest, that's probably what everyone's doing, you know. But
yeah, I think I'm. It's just kind of most of my culture, humor, and all that stuff comes from the cartoons I watched when I was a kid. So,
Do you try and interject some of that humor within your story? I mean, as far as pacing within Titan, are
um,
there any humorous moments?
I'm not sure so
Yeah,
much about
yeah, is
Titan.
Titan more of a serious story, Gary? I mean,
Yeah, it's more serious.
yeah,
oh,
I know that maybe the drawings they maybe look like this is silly, but it's not the theme of it. I don't think is. I think that it is more. It's a serious story. Yeah.
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 No, I got the impression that it was more of a serious story, but I don't know.
Well, like in horror movies, right? They do put in those comedic moments, the dialogue or
Yeah, but
something like
that's
to
that's
kind
kind
of
of
break up the
yeah, but
tension.
that's been
Yeah,
relatively recently in horror movies. I mean, horror movies used to take themselves pretty serious.
yeah.
Um, like with I think the '80s and early '90s really introduced a lot of the comedy horror.
Have you known anyone personally that has post traumatic disorder or anyone like that, Gary?
Hmm. I don't know. I've known. I just know how I feel. Not that I have that, but I know that probably a lot of people deal with things that where where life sometimes is too much, and it gets to be a struggle. It's like maybe even doing mundane things become a
Yeah,
struggle because of maybe over being overly anxious about the condition of the world, maybe, or a person in their life, where they are in their life, um, and maybe they're terrified, and it's crippling and paralyzing. So I think probably with a lot of people, just taking from your own experience, when there were times when I was terrified, and I know that there is a thing called post traumatic stress disorder.
hmm.
My wife, she worked with somebody who was in Vietnam,
Hey, Doc.
uh, and they suffered from that, and they
Yeah,
couldn't be around like fireworks on the 4th of July, things like that, and it
yeah.
was troubling.
My first wife's stepdad. So I got two father-in-laws when I got married the first time. Um, but her stepdad is actually a door gunner on a Huey in Vietnam. So like if we were watching, and he would watch war movies and stuff, but if he fell asleep and you
Yeah,
forgot to turn the movie off and there was like a battle scene or something, he would wake up and just it was
he'd think
scary
he'd
to
be in it.
behold. It yeah, it was scary. I was like, shit, don't ever do that again. I was like, do not ever leave that movie playing if he falls asleep.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a great guy, but yeah, we had Apocalypse Now on, and somehow or another he passed out in his recliner, and me and the wife were sitting there just watching, with the mother-in-law, and nobody realized he was sleeping, and the one of them big old battle scenes came on, and like he woke up, and you could tell he was not even in the room; he was
Wow.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I did prison ministry for over 6 years, and I did some advanced training with a gentleman. He had been in Vietnam, and he went to see the movie Platoon, Gary,
Mm.
and he just he just went out. He just
Wow.
went somewhere else for 2 years. He just kind of went in a comatose state. The
After
shock
seeing Platoon?
during seeing that, and since then he
Wow.
avoids all war movies.
Oh wow,
Uh,
that's crazy.
yeah,
Oh
he
no.
lost 2 years of his life from
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know. I mean,
Yeah,
crazy how
yeah.
your mind reacts to,
It
messed
it
up
it
situations.
totally took him by surprise. And can you imagine that if you lost 2 years of your life, you just woke up one day. Well, it's two
Dude,
years later.
yeah, that's
You know,
crazy.
Yeah.
you'd have to be Captain America frozen in ice, wouldn't you? Be
Well, thank God
a
it was.
man out
I mean, at
a
that
man
point,
out
you
of
have to go. Well, thank God it's only been 2 years instead of 40. But yeah,
what do you like best about Gary about doing Titan, your current project? Because I'm sure you, as you said, you're doing commercial work with for Upper Deck and
yeah, Marvel.
other entities. What's the best thing about this? Just
Well,
independent.
just the freedom to do whatever you want. I think that's big. I think that,
Oh, look at this.
I mean, if I could be let free to do something like, say, with some Marvel characters or DC characters, and they just said basically just do whatever you want to do, that would be fun too. The limits, I think, are the thing that bothers me. Like even working with like a certain property, you're very restricted on what it is. Like I'm not allowed to draw certain things when I do stuff for Upper Deck. They give
Right.
me like this whole. I have a whole like pages of stuff that are like banned characters, banned materials, and you have to follow that scrutiny. And not that I'm wanting to not follow it. It's just that they have their reasons.
I take it this is not the first time you worked with Upper Deck.
No, I've worked with them for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
Uh, hey
I've
Gary,
worked.
you
Yeah,
probably said already, but what volume is that you're holding up there next?
of Titan right here.
Yes, yes.
That's volume one.
Oh, dude.
It
Yeah,
just
that's
doesn't
cool.
say volume one.
Oh, okay.
So maybe on a second printing
Yeah,
will.
I'm on my phone, dude, so the screen is tiny. It's hard to.
Right on.
Shadowhawk, I want to give you an opportunity. There's something you want to know about Titan that you may not know about that you want to ask
Uh,
Gary? Something you've been
no, dude,
wondering?
I'm just
Yeah.
in love with Gary's artwork. I
Yeah.
gotta, yeah. As soon as the new job starts rolling, man, that's gonna be one of the first things I back. And like I said, I'm probably gonna back the three hardcovers because these are great looking books, Gary.
I
Thank
guess
you.
you're kind of building your own library, aren't you, Gary? Like to be able to look at your books, bookcases, and see some of your own books in
Yeah,
hardback, no less. Kind
yeah.
of nice, isn't it?
I've got quite a few.
Uh huh.
Nah, that's great.
Anything else you're working on besides the Upper Deck stuff and Titan right now?
Not at the moment. Um, While I'm working on the color edition of Packens Land here,
Okay.
there's those issues. Here's the individual issues of Titan that we
What's the
did.
most satisfying? Is it the penciling, the inking, the coloring? What? The lettering? What? Doing the.
What's the most satisfying?
Yeah, I like that you worked letters into your panels. Sound.
Um,
Uh, if it were like,
yeah,
uh,
that the M sound that was from he was going through a ventilation shaft, and he's going into this facility called the Ryan Research Facility, and they're doing like experiments and stuff on
mhm.
animals, and so he's going through the ventilation shaft to get into the lab to free the animals. And as he hears that hum, it triggers him, and then that's where he has like a post-traumatic stress, his first one in the comic books at least. And then he has to he has a flashback and it goes into some past things, and then he kind of pulls himself together and he's like, okay, it's passing now. And then he goes and like rips the fan that was making that noise, kind of just, breaks it. And he said it makes him feel good when he did that. And so he's like chasing that feeling. But yeah, so, but I guess the question you asked was, what's the most satisfying part of it? Is telling the story, I think. But it's also the way it's visual. It's a visual story. So it's not just, I'm going to tell you a story, but you got to look at it too. And I'm a very visual person. So everything that I do, I think the images tell a story. And I wouldn't mind actually doing a whole issue maybe where it was just images telling a story. Yeah. And I think I did do that in Packin's Land, but that was a long time ago. So, but I wouldn't mind doing it again.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
Say that again.
Issue. There was an old G.I. Joe issue that.
Oh yeah, that was Snake Eyes, I think.
And where it just showed the story in pictures.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Where do you get your coloring sensibility? I mean, what are you? I mean, your inspiration, I guess, is it more of a Marvel, DC, your own? I mean, you're doing everything, aren't you? This is 100% Gary Shipman work here.
Yeah, this is all me. Something that I learned, I think, and it always it keeps teaching me. This one thing that I've learned is if you want to do something right, do it yourself. And maybe it isn't that it's right, but if you want something done your way, then you got to do it yourself. And I do try to get other people, like for example, I think issue 4 here, we have a little debut. Humphrey Bear, who's in the chat here, that's him right there. And it says Humphrey Bear. He did the lettering on issue 4 for the first part of that. And so I do like to, if I can give work to other people to lighten the load for me, I want to do that. Also, I think there was an issue. We did 2 issues of Titan in full color. I colored the first one. And my wife right now is gesturing to me about the things that she does. What do you do?
I edit.
Oh yeah, and of course, Rhoda edits. Where's her credit? There it is, Rhoda Shipman.
Yes, you need a good second or third or fourth set of eyes, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely do. I am not good with the spelling of words.
How did you come up with the name Packin's Land? Any Packins?
It just seemed weird to me. I don't know. Like the original story for Packin's Land, it was going to be called, before I had drawn anything, it was just an idea. And I was telling my wife about it. I said, I got this idea to do a story. And I have a lot of ideas. This is the one and Titan that have actually seen print. So, but the original story was going to be called The Banana Famine. And I still have, I think it might even be in the book here where it says something. Well, anyways, it was going to be called Banana Famine. And it was going to be about, monkeys and gorillas and all of them and this conflict that they were having with each other. And then this famine hits, but then from there, it's like, well, how do I start this story? Well, then I'm going to have this boy, Paul, come into this world where the animals, it's not the real world. So he has to go into another dimension or something where the animals are intelligent. And then what was the first animal that he met? Well, it was Gus. And then he met Mr. Brambles and, Shawnee and the different characters. And the story just started taking on a life of its own. I haven't even gotten to the Banana Famine part. But the name just sounded so funny to me, like Banana Famine. That just sounds hilarious.
It's amazing that you have enough to have a collected omnibus of these things.
Yeah,
That must be satisfying just to go to one resource and see it all.
it
When
is.
you,
I love the hard edition of books. Once I did this, I was like, oh, I don't want to do comic books anymore. I want to do hard. I have a this one's still in plastic. I'll open it up, but this is the omnibus, kind
oh,
of in a smaller.
in paperback.
Yeah, it's a paperback,
Uh-huh.
so it's the same thing. And I thought, it's cool just to have it as an omnibus, and it is, but it's way cooler having it as a hardcover.
Oh yeah.
So, but I did go back and I made the individual floppies, I guess you call them, or whatever, of Titan, and I made new covers for them, so they're different a little
Well,
bit.
I was thrilled beyond belief that someone who had done an Indiegogo campaign that I backed was in my local comic book shop.
Yeah, I'm
And
thrilled too.
I guess it's. I hope you get your comp copy pretty soon, Gary. Your
Yeah,
coloring is different on this one though. Same image, but different coloring, huh? To
yeah,
kind of distinguish it.
I didn't have the time to go and
Mhm.
make a whole. Anyways, I got all these goodies in here too.
I don't think you have to. I think what came out was wonderful.
Well, I got bookmarks and cards,
Yeah.
trading cards and stuff.
Now you, uh, how big a collector are you? What do you collect?
I've been into, like, I have those essentials. The only ones I have are the ones you saw there. Like, I have the Fantastic Four. I've been looking for the specific Fantastic Four story, and it isn't in this one, but this cover is so good.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Do you know who did that
Is
particular
that like
cover?
Senate?
Okay. Oh, just Joe
Oh,
Sennett
okay.
himself.
Joe Senate.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh wait, the name's right here.
Okay.
I need some glasses. But that's beautiful. It says Pollard and
Pollard.
Senate.
Yeah, Sennett. Yeah, I thought it looked
Okay.
Mr. Fantastic looked a little Pollard, but I couldn't tell.
I love
Yeah.
that cover. It's beautiful. But anyways, there's this one story I've been looking for, and I'm not sure if they start to touch on it in this, where Mr. Fantastic is fighting Doctor Doom. And I remember picking up the book
That would probably be issue 200. I
but
don't
it
know
was amazing. I loved it so
what
much.
issues that covers. You might have some George Perez in there, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it has two. This is 200 right here.
Yeah, that's 200 because I've actually got that production page right that you just pointed to.
Really?
Multifaceted.
Now this may be the one. Maybe this is the one I'm looking for because that
Or
image
that
right
book
there.
that you're holding, as a matter of fact.
But I thought that there was another one where he was. I don't know. My memory might not be the best.
Oh, that's from 200 on the back there, Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is
Anyway,
Jack Kirby the king of comics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Okay. All right. I just like to throw that out every
I
now
don't
and
know
then.
how you expect to get an argument out of that.
Well,
I don't know.
I didn't always think so.
Right.
But
Now, see, I get a lot of that, Gary.
Yeah,
like
when
when
I was younger, I didn't quite, get Kirby's significance either. But as I
Yeah.
got older and learned more and more about comics, yeah.
Well, there was a lot of artists that were kind of off-putting to me at first, or their current work, because styles change over time, don't they, Gary? Have you seen a stylistic shift in your art in the past 5 years?
Oh yeah, definitely. Changed a lot. But I didn't think very much of Jack Kirby. I actually met him too, and it was like, oh, whatever, it's Jack Kirby. He's and I wish I would have, in hindsight, obviously
engaged him a little more.
Yeah, I wish I would have talked with him more. I wish I would have cared more. And then, we were just talking about this kind of thing on my stream about like taking advantage of these people that are still alive, and going up, because I'm kind of a shy person. I mean, I'm fine in a situation like this.
Right.
But if too many people get in here, I would just probably shut down and wouldn't talk. But
Yeah.
and then going to like comic book conventions and stuff like that, there's a lot of people around, and it's just really awkward for me to go up to somebody and say, "Hi, I'm Gary," and I really like your work. I mean, I've said that. I've
Right.
met different, like
Yeah.
Frank Miller and Bill Sienkiewicz and different George Perez and different ones, and I've talked with them a little bit. But I just,
Sienkiewicz is a little guy, isn't he?
who's that?
Frank Miller, well, Sienkiewicz is sort of a shorter guy, isn't he?
I did. He was sitting, maybe. I don't know. He didn't
Yeah.
seem as, but maybe I'm a shorter guy too. I don't know.
Mhm.
He didn't seem. He's thin.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
thin guy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I was going to
but
ask you who were some of the people you met. Do you do a lot of conventions?
I used to.
Yeah.
I was going to a lot of conventions, like 2000, maybe 16, 17 ish, maybe 16, I would say. And then I was going to shows, and it would cost, back in the day, like in the 80s, they would just give you a table. If you're an artist, you're like, yeah, come, we want artists to come. They would just give you a table at Artist Alley and stuff like that. And even San Diego is still that way. It's just there's a huge waiting list, and people who get locked in on the waiting list, they're in. Once you're in, you're in. You just got to keep renewing that, and then you'll always have a table. But now, like, they have different conventions that I've been a part of, like C2E2 or Wizard World or something like that. They're charging for tables, and they charge a lot.
Hmm.
And it's like, well, I'm not like some big, famous artist or something. I'm just a guy who's trying to make a go of it. And it was to make your money back, to go to this location, you have to pay for that, room and board and all that. And then also pay for a table. And then you have to make all that back. And
Yeah.
then you're beating yourself up for, 4 days, maybe sometimes.
It's kind of a disruption of the flow of things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So,
In one
anyways,
place.
there was one year that uh, I was like on the fence. Should I go? Should I not go? And then I prayed. I basically said, God, if it's your will for me not to go, have me to make the money that I would make at that show. Have me to make it at home. And I did. And I was like, I don't need to go to comic book conventions anymore, because they are kind of grueling. Although it's been so long now, I was even talking to my wife that I kind of miss it now, and I would
Yeah.
like to go and maybe, like, connect with some of these people that I haven't connected with so well in the
Right.
past, just because of shyness and things like that.
Hmm.
But we were talking about that on my stream, and then we got the news the next day, I think, that John Romita Sr. passed away. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, see,
Yeah. Yeah. I got,
Yeah, last
a cut.
couple of years have been rough, man. We've had a lot of greats just passing away.
yeah,
One of the greatest experiences in my life was meeting John Romita for the very first thing at time, and his wife Virginia was with him.
oh
And
really?
being and at that show, I had picked out, not knowing John Romita's early work for Atlas Marvel, right in the
Right,
early 50s was in it. It was Young Men Comics 24 through 28, I think, uh, 5 issues had I wanted some good golden age comics, and I looked in the Overstreet price guide and I saw, wow, this one has that and another Atlas book at the time had like Submariner, Captain America and Bucky, Toro and Human Torch. It had the big three from the golden age from Timely. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try and find those. There was one dealer that had like very fine plus copies at that time. This was like in 1985. And so I bought those. And I probably took them back to my room and I said, "Ooh, John Romita Sr. artwork uh, in these. I'll get them autographed." So I took those to him and got him to sign all four inside. Couldn't find the very first issue, 25. I did the next year. He was there with his son, Junior. Um, uh, but he said he just to see him. Oh, look, Virginia, we were dating at this time. This is when we were dating. He probably had not seen that artwork since not the early 50s,
Yeah.
whatever it was, 53 maybe or sooner. And he just to see him go through there and uh, look at his old Captain America story and appreciate the work again was, I felt like I was giving him a gift. Um,
Yeah.
and
That's cool.
he was sharing it with his wife. That made it even more personal. And but you mentioned the 80s. Back then, it really like they would give you a table. It really was more personable, right? You had Artist Row. I met an unknown Eric Larson trying to
Yeah.
sell his first comic book for $2. It was the first appearance of the Megaton issue with Savage Dragon's first early appearance. I
Yeah.
didn't buy it. Picked it up. I looked at it, considered it. I was after Ninja Turtle stuff, um, other stuff. Picked up some
Yeah.
Don Chin, radioactive black belt hamsters. Did you like all that stuff in the 80s that kind of came out?
Um,
That was
I
a little
remember
bit.
when I remember when Ninja Turtles came out, and it was like an ash can,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't I wasn't like super taken with it, but I did think it was hilarious because
Uh-huh.
it seemed like it was more of a parody, and that they were basically taking like you know Dark Knight and Daredevil and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle I'm sorry, New Teen Titans, and they were meshing these three or so into kind of a parody thing instead of it being mutants. The New Mutants were a thing, and
Right.
then it
Mm.
was like they were taking all of it and just putting it in one thing, and it was just
Yeah,
funny. And then
okay.
they were turtles. It was hilarious.
With the radioactive black belt hamsters, you mentioned Gumby and Pokey earlier. A lot of people wouldn't even know what that is, but I do. I had
Yeah,
the complete collection on disc, Gary.
nice.
Uh, yeah. It's a little dated, but it's some of my earliest memories. I find I want to go back and I want to find those earliest memories. One thing that helped me was Blockbuster Video and
Yeah,
VHS tapes,
yeah,
and I got to see those crappy Marvel cartoons, Captain America and Hulk and Iron Man, and I mean the animation was taken straight from the panels, but it was still superhero fare. And
yeah,
really the 60s was superhero fare. And then we went through a drought. We had Super Friends and yeah, we had Isis and Shazam live action and some other stuff. But compared to the 60s just had that, to me, Johnny Quest, you named a bunch of them. Johnny Quest, Dino Boy, you know, uh, Moby Dick, uh, King Kong, early
mm,
Japanimation type stuff, Speed Racer, which I really wasn't exposed to. I was exposed to some of the early Japanimation or animation types, anime stuff, but not a lot of it. I remember King Kong, Marine Boy, a little bit. He was like underwater with a sort of energy boomerang. Um, I think Hanna Barbera might have done that. I have an episode or two of that in my collection. Tobor, the Eighth Man robot spelled backwards. That was a great one. Some of the episodes weren't even aired at that time in America, just in Japan. There. Um, did you grow? Are you old enough to remember just black and white TV and the conversion to color?
no, I mean I might be old enough, but I don't remember it. I mean I'm
Huh?
57,
Oh, you're
so
my age. Okay, we're
yeah,
both the same age.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you
I don't.
graduate in '84?
I didn't graduate,
Oh, okay,
but I guess I would have graduated in '85 because I
okay.
I was held back in second grade,
All right.
and I got all the way through high school senior year, and then I bounced.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I thought you might have bought the school and said, I don't need to graduate. But now, one famous person that did not graduate, he only had like a third grade education, Thomas Edison,
Wow.
you know. Uh, so, I mean, there is common sense, right? There is life experience
Right.
that I think a lot of the students today, Gary, would be better going into a vocational thing instead of college. What do you think?
Definitely. I think that, like for myself, everything that I've learned, I taught myself. Like I didn't learn to draw in school. I didn't learn how to make. I'm like a publisher. You know, I mean, I
Hmm.
everything that I do, I'm doing full blown publishing stuff. I'm doing creating the files that need to be made, making sure that they're camera ready and all that stuff and ready for the press. So I'm dealing with everything, every aspect of making a comic book. I'm dealing with that, except
Hmm.
for the actual printing part. Like I don't get in there and actually mix the inks,
Right,
you know,
right.
to,
Yeah.
to print.
My
Which maybe
God,
who knows?
you'd probably get 2 books out a year as opposed
Yeah,
to what you do.
but
It
I love bookbinding. I love that. Like I'll see
uh,
videos on people doing it. I'm like, oh, that is awesome.
yeah, I used
But
to have a
so
bookbinder.
yeah, so I love the whole process, and I've taught myself how to do everything. I've taught myself how to work computers. I didn't go to
That's
school
all.
for anything, and
Mhm.
I even worked at that educational book company I told you about. I worked there for a good 10 years. Maybe it was 7.5 years because I
Well,
then went to another.
I didn't
Go ahead.
realize we were the same age. Billy Tucci's our age. Dan Lawless is our age. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Maybe it was our generation, if we can call it that, Gary, that's had some sanity. Shadowhawk's a year or two younger than us. He's the
Yeah,
young man.
he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a baby.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
what
yeah,
would
I
you like?
definitely
What would
go
you
ahead.
like to overall say in your books to popular culture? Because Mike Barron was talking about that yesterday about reaching people through the culture, and we've kind of lost our pop culture in America, haven't we? In a lot of aspects.
Yeah, it's unrecognizable actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to tell good stories, but also I think the things that I think are good. I guess that's relative, but I just want to do something good that's also inspiring to people, so that if
Right.
people look at it or read it, that they then will be inspired themselves. I mean, anything is possible, um, but I think that you have to come about it in a logical way, I guess, maybe, or maybe it's not logic, maybe it's just faith, you know. Um, and I mean, not in ourselves so much, but
Right.
in God, you know.
Is that what kind of your wife brings to your life is a strengthening of faith
Oh,
together,
definitely. Yeah.
and she's very supportive. I guess you said she added a lot, looks a lot at a lot of your stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah. How long you
Yeah.
been married, Gary? If I may ask.
I think 38
Oh,
years.
38 years. Wow.
I think so.
My parents were 62 years, and then my father passed away. But
Hmm.
that's less than 10% of marriages today. What makes a healthy marriage, you think, Gary?
Well,
Speaking from personal experience, not that you might be an authority.
right. I don't know. I think that you have to value the other person more than you value yourself,
Hmm.
and that's a challenge, because everybody I think thinks that they're pretty great.
Faith in God.
Yeah, definitely faith in God, but
Hmm.
like I'm the husband, and you can get kind of heady. I'm the
Sure.
husband. You do what I say.
Right.
And it's like, no, it's like I
You
would,
submit. You submit one to another, don't you?
exactly, yeah,
Esteem
and
others higher than yourself.
exactly,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I find
that
in
I
serving others, my needs are met.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that that's a lost wisdom right there
Yeah.
in this generation.
Yeah. There's something about generosity and giving. God's giving, and we should follow His example. And some, I do believe there is a gift of giving within the church.
Yeah,
Uh, that some people have. As I showed you my color guide for Avengers #4, uh, that was given to me. Just an awesome gift, more than I could think or ask for. But that's the way God is, isn't it? Uh, just more than we can ask for. Uh,
yeah.
where do you hope to be in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, Gary?
I don't know. I'm not really worried about it.
With
I'm
your career? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
kind of a
I'm
day
just
by day
Yeah.
kind of guy.
yeah, and I feel like when I do start worrying about it, things don't go so well.
Right.
It's sort of like just give let it go, give it to God, you know, acknowledge him and let him work it all out.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
he's
When you
been
give it
very good
to
to
him,
me.
really give it to him. Don't take it back.
Yeah,
Once you ask him to take it,
yeah. And then if you do take it back, give it back again.
give it back again. Right. Yeah. Get rid of that thing. Yeah. You
Right,
don't need that. You don't need burdens. Yeah.
right.
I really enjoyed our conversation. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. I hope we can do this again sometime,
Yes,
Gary.
sir.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I really enjoy your channel, but now you've had some trouble with your channel on YouTube lately. You care to go into any of that? Just to let people know
Well,
might be missing your one channel.
Well, yeah, I had a channel, and then I guess I may have clicked on something. Somebody sent me an email or something about something, and I probably clicked on something, and then they were able to access my account, and then they started putting up all kinds of crazy things. It was
Oh, trouble.
actually Easter Sunday. It happened,
Oh boy.
not this last one, but the year before, and someone contacted me and they said, "Hey Gary, your channel, something's wrong. There's all these crazy videos up there about Elon Musk and Bitcoin and all this stuff." And I'm like, "What?" And so I went and looked, and my channel was gone, got hijacked. Um, and I guess it advised whatever those people put it up on there as a joke, um, ended up violating the terms of YouTube, and they just killed my channel. I couldn't access it. So I opened up a new channel, and over about a year, almost to the day, um, I got then I got copyright struck. I almost got all my subscribers back again. I had like 1,300 subscribers, and I
Wow.
almost got back. I was like at 1,250 maybe, and then one day I got struck in one day in one morning, 22 times with a copyright strike. And
Wow.
then
Ouch.
a friend of the channel or whatever, who knows a lot about that kind of stuff, internet things and scams and stuff, he looked into it and he said, "Yeah, this is you were trolled, I guess." And this company, the name of the company is called um, Mark Scan Enforcement, and he said that it's a company out of India, and they go around just messing with people.
Wow.
Hmm.
You got to
And
wonder what's in it for them. You know.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But they got me, and I guess because I got 22 copyright strikes in just in like an hour. It wasn't even. It was just like in 15 minutes.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
they just
Any hopes
they
of
just
getting that channel back?
I don't think so. I mean, it locked me out, so I had no recourse. The only recourse that they said I could do was to reach out to the person who did it and ask them, like through email, to redact the strike. And so I did, but they didn't even respond back to me. And I knew that it would be futile because they did it on purpose.
Bro, I hate to say it, man, but yeah, somebody out
Hey,
there has got a hard on against you, man. I,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I just saw in the chat. It happened a third time, Gary. Is that correct?
No, it happened just 2 times.
Oh, okay.
Almost a year apart.
Yeah, basically, literally a year
Yeah.
apart. It was
And that
strange.
was what, a couple months ago, the last time?
Yeah, it was well, almost. It was almost. It was around Easter
Oh, okay.
that the
Okay.
second one happened. The first one happened Easter Sunday.
Oh God.
So I don't know if it's the same people that did it. I don't know. It's just weird. So I'm over
Very
on Twitch now.
coincidental.
I'm sorry.
You
Just
don't think it
very
was the same person, do you?
coincidental.
Oh, I have no idea. I couldn't say. It doesn't really matter
Yeah.
because I don't got a channel over there anymore. I am using my wife's channel though. Like in the chat, let me type something in there real quick.
Now, are you doing draw streams on her channel and everything?
I did one. I did one drawing stream on my wife's channel.
Okay.
I'll just say hi in the chat. That it says RS or Rhoda Shipman.
Uh,
That's
because I
me
really am
acting like
missing
my wife.
your draw streams.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, I'm probably maybe I'll do one once a week on YouTube. I just don't want to invest so much
Yeah.
into it anymore
Well, now
because it's sort of.
you're on Rumble and other where else can people find you?
I have been doing like almost, I would say, a daily live stream on Twitch, and I can give you the link
Okay.
for that. Let's see. But I do have a Rumble. I've never done a live stream on Rumble though.
Do you like the Twitch platform?
I do.
Uh-huh.
They're way more. What's the word? They seem to be more creator friendly, although they are starting to come out with some new laws or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I. Oh, someone looks like someone put it up. No, that's YouTube. Okay, I'll try to post and see if it works in here. It work?
Thank you, Carrie, for dropping that link. We have some link masters in the chat. Carrie
Link
being one of, I believe, Nighthawk may have, or some others may have dropped some links.
So I just put one in
well.
there. I don't. Did it show up
Um,
as Rhoda?
yeah,
No.
Rhoda Shipman. Okay, well, okay.
Yeah, it just says hi.
Carrie had the correct link there. Yeah, 17 subscribers. I'm going to drop.
All right, everyone subscribe, please.
That's right. Let's.
Yeah.
I
So
see you.
I've recently started putting up videos on her channel,
Okay. Well, I
and
just
I
subscribed.
think I did one stream, and I think maybe I'll do one a week over there on YouTube. But I do almost a daily one on Twitch. So if people
Okay.
wanted to come on to
Okay.
Twitch, I'll do one later tonight over on Twitch.
Would you characterize yourself as a
Hello,
fast
Eric.
worker, slow, sort of in between?
I think I'm pretty fast,
Uh-huh.
given that I've done well. Let's see, 8, 7, 8. I've done 8 comic books in the course of, I don't know. I guess it's not super fast, but I've done
Yeah.
other things too on top of it. So, but I've done 8 comic books in a couple of years.
What type of things are you doing for Upper Deck?
I did. Let's see, what are they called? I can only show certain things because they have to be approved. But I have some
Sure.
old stuff that was
Okay.
approved that I could probably show. Let's see. Share screen. But I've worked on something called Midnight Suns, which I
Wow.
didn't know. I didn't know what that was until they sent it to me, and I'm like, oh, these are kind of dark. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to share my screen, but it's not popping up. Yeah, here we go. I don't know how to do this.
Do you remember what year of the Midnight Suns you were on, Gary?
I did it this year. I
Oh,
just
this year. Oh! I
it's
didn't even
coming.
know there
It's
was
still
still.
coming out.
Wow. I used to collect it back in the 90s, I guess,
Oh yeah.
starting in the 90s. So if it's the
Sorry.
same, is it
I,
Marvel
I,
Midnight Suns? Is that the
Yeah.
okay?
Sorry it's taking me so long to.
that's
Oh,
fine.
good. Now we get to look at that really cool Titan mouse cover in the meantime. So no big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm loving your stuff, Gary. This is awesome.
Thank you.
If are there any humans within this universe?
Of Titan,
Hmm.
yeah. There's a Professor Nimoy,
Okay. All
and
right. The main
Which is
protagonist.
yeah,
Yeah. And then in Packins, right? You had Packins Land. You had a boy.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's the name Packins is the name of the that man on that first cover right there. His name is
Uh,
Andrew Packins, and he was the
okay.
first person to come into that world, and so it has his name.
okay.
All right, so here's some. These are old. Let me see if I can share this. How do I do this?
Bye, Eric. Have a good night, buddy.
See you, Eric. And thank you for the suggestion. Give credit where credit's due.
All right,
He had
I'm gonna try
he
to
had
share
wanted me
this.
to reach out to you a long time ago.
Oh, really?
And I
Share.
uh, really appreciate you responding back and so quickly
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
and coming
Okay,
on
I'll
today.
share that. I'll share that one.
All right.
All right, so these are some old ones. This was from Marvel Age, and
Oh,
so I don't even know. This may have been like 2018 or something.
wow. No, wow. So again, yeah, sketch cards. Yeah.
Oh, very
So
cool.
these were one of a kind and inserted randomly, I guess, in the upper deck packs.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh, and the what they call them back in the day, chase cards, Gary. Is that what it was?
Yeah, like chase card. Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're just called sketch cards to me. I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah.
but they're
Well,
like
yeah.
blue
Like
colored.
in the old days, they used to. Yeah, they do the special variants, and now it's sketch cards. But they used to
So
call them chase
here's
cards. You get, if you buy a case, you're guaranteed to only get like four. You know.
Oh, that's wonderful.
so these
Uh,
are Marvel
Oh, cool.
Anime. I guess this was a AP. So they give me artist proofs that I can do whatever I want, and so that was the one for that
uh,
one. Storm I did, but these are the ones that went into the set.
wow, look at that Thanos.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I like that you got the Mach 2 or whatever the golden armor was. That might be Mach 3, but with the little antenna. I always loved the antenna. What's your Oh, the Beast, my favorite character. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hellcat, wonderful.
Is that Electra down there in the corner?
This is great
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
Electra.
okay. She's so tiny on my foot.
Yeah.
These are
Oh, you
cool
got a Rocket Raccoon. Uh, and which one's that next to Banshee? Is that the one that died or his brother?
Banshee. Oh, Thunderbird. Is that his name?
Thunderbird.
though. Well, the
I guess
original Thunderbird died. I thought
he
they,
died very quickly, like a couple issues
yeah,
in
like
too.
his second appearance.
You don't have the beast in a diaper, do you? Tell me you don't have him
I
in a diaper.
do. No, I
Oh,
don't. I diapered him up.
oh, Gary.
Let's see what else can I show you. Well,
I
anyways,
had
like here's the
I had
different ones.
Steve Lytle. Sadly, I do no longer have it. I lost it, but Steve
So
Lytle
here's
did make one, and on his tag on his shorts it said "Hang 10." and the wasp was flying around it. That was kind of interesting.
Okay, so here's the different ones that I've worked on. Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh
There's
wow.
one called Black Diamond.
Uh-huh.
Another one called Flare. Halo. That's what I'm about to start. That's from
Now
the game.
the game. Okay.
Yeah. Marvel Age. I showed you those. Marvel
Uh-huh.
Anime. Marvel Beginnings. Marvel Beginnings 2. Marvel Masterpieces. This is 2022. I can show you that. Marvel Premiere, Midnight Suns, Spider Man Into the Spider Verse, and WandaVision. So I can show you this for sure because this was years ago. That's the black and whites, and then I colored them.
Does your daughter read comics? Did you engage her into comics?
Yeah, I have two daughters and a son, and I read to them comic books.
Hmm. Have they retained that?
Yeah, they
Do
loved
they
it,
do
but
they con-
they
they
don't
don't?
really
Yeah.
they don't really read. Well, my oldest does. She's gotten some Batman things and stuff like that, but they'll come out and talk and say, "Oh, Dad, remember when you would read us those books and that you do all the voices and everything?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember."
Would you say you're primarily self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that Groot. Yeah. These must be fun to do, right? I mean, they're. How long would it take you to do a, depending on the complexity of the character, a card like this?
Uh, it it really depends. Sometimes getting started is hard
Hmm.
because, and then you get into the rhythm, and I
Look at
find
that.
that happens. Like this Halo thing, I'm a little bit not looking forward to it because I've never drawn them before, and I
Right.
know that there's gonna be like a learning curve for
Oh,
me.
like that Moon Knight.
I guess it kind of pays pretty good though, huh?
It's okay.
Yeah. Are you a big Spidey fan?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Hmm.
I never collected them a whole lot. I did like the John Romita Jr. stuff. I remember liking that a lot.
Right. That was his early stuff, wasn't it?
I guess so.
His run
It
on
was like
that
the
in the early
Hobgoblin.
'80s. Oh, this one has a Sal Buscema look to me.
Does it?
Hmm.
You know, the
Are
funny
you?
thing, Gary, is I used to say that too. I was never a big Spider-Man guy, but it turns out when I go through my collection, like
You
I've
have a
got
lot of Spider-Man.
I've got a lot of Spider-Man in my collection. I'm like, how did this happen?
So look with this Spider-Man here. I did the head
Hmm.
and then in ink, and then I didn't like it, and
Shadow.
so
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
color, I went in. I went over it with gesso, and I kind of just blocked
Yeah.
it out and then
Uh-huh.
painted over it and put a new head on them. I
Yeah.
like that one
Cool.
better.
Yeah, I think it went much better.
Spidey's hard to identify, the artist because he's wearing a mask, and I generally look at faces when
Yeah,
I'm looking. Now, some like Gene Colan or Steve Ditko,
Oh
John
yeah,
Byrne,
nice name art.
you could go
thank
on
you.
and on, have very distinctive styles, but there is some kind of house style as
Oh,
well. Wow. You can see
oh,
the
right,
Walt
Thor.
Simonson in that, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
Walt Simonson on Thor. Man, he was so good.
Oh, bro, the '80s run that he did
Yeah,
was oh
that
crazy
first
good.
issue. Do you remember when that first issue came out that he did? Not that he had done it maybe years before, but in the '80s when he came out and did that first issue,
Hmm.
man, I turned that last page and the impact of that, where he had lost the hammer and he was just a man and he was
Yeah,
crying out to Odin. Oh man, that was awesome. I
yeah.
love that.
That was just such a great run, man. Ooh, nice
I
Wolverine.
loved when he
Ooh,
turned into a Throg. when he turned into a frog.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
that you don't like overly do the ears on Wolverine's helmet. Some people get them a little crazy.
yeah, well,
yeah.
kind of like Kelly Jones crazy.
Yeah, Kelly Jones can get out there a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like most of his stuff.
Batman ears, yeah. X-23 there. Wolverine's
Oh,
daughter. I just
so this here, someone I had
Mysterio.
had
Yeah.
bought the AP, and I had several APs that I was doing for somebody or for different people, and I got the wrong guy, and I almost got to final on this guy's piece. So like, see the first one, I forget what this is, like the God Killer guy or God Slayer
Uh-huh.
that it was in Thor. Do you know what I'm talking about in the
Um.
movie?
Oh, in the movie.
I
Oh,
didn't see the movie, so
Sarda
No,
wasn't Sarda.
the guy that Christian Bale played, and he was like a God Slayer guy. Gore, is it Gore?
I don't know, dude. Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought that's what this guy had wanted, so I did the line art. Then I started coloring it, and then he said, "How's that Mysterio Spider-Man piece coming?" I'm like, "What?"
What?
So I had to go and completely white it out with gesso, and then redraw Mysterio and Spider-Man. So I took a picture of that sequence, and then it turned out okay.
Wow. Instead of
So
well, I mean, you're limited on how many cards they send you, right? So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's all one card right there. It's just that's the sequence of
it's
whatever.
amazing that you did all that near complete and then just had to white over it.
Yeah, here's some other APs that I did for different people.
Is Storm one of your favorite characters?
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that people just request it a lot.
Uh-huh.
She's okay. She's fine.
Yeah, that's the classic. Don't see any of
You're all
the
good, Karen.
Mohawk going on.
Yeah, I wait. Didn't I have a mohawk in there? I think I did. Where is it?
What is Carrie's question?
Oh, that middle one on the bottom. Isn't that a little mohawkish? I don't know. Maybe not.
Let me take a closer look here. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't prefer the her Moloch days when she was in the sewers and the leader of the Molochs and the
what is going on?
the Mohawk, but
I think I can
I
show you
guess they all
this.
go through phases, right? Any Harley Quinn, Gary? Yeah, I should have known. Harley Quinn is her favorite character.
Harlequin is DC. So
Yeah, yeah.
Spider Verse. I think I could show you this. Not sure.
All right, don't get yourself in trouble, Gary.
Well, these are from like 2001, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
so we
these
had
are.
Spider-Ham. Wow. Yeah. Did
So
you
these
enjoy
are these are already out.
the first movie,
I
or did you
enjoyed both of them.
you enjoyed both of them? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I do. I wasn't expecting the second one to be anything good. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, they're gonna mess up the second one. But then when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really good. They go really good together.
I'm glad they kind of brought Spider Ham back. That was some '80s goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous, but you suspend. It is what it is, right?
yeah.
Doesn't have to mess with continuity.
Well, I think
The,
the thing that I like about the Miles Morales character is that he's not replacing Spider-Man.
right.
He's just another dude in a spider suit.
Now these are doubles here. This is like two cards put together making one panel.
Yeah.
How does that come about? Do they
Uh,
just request that?
sometimes they'll say we want you to do like, 3 sets of 2.
Hmm.
and so then that's how that works.
And you do this directly on the card, so
Yeah, each one of these is an original.
pretty good card stock. I mean, you're getting a little wet with that last one.
Oh, I
Right?
get very wet. Like
Don't they
they're
curl on
all, yeah, they curl, they do all kinds
you?
of stuff. I'll do like live stream drawings of them, and you can see them, but I take them down, so you have to be there when I'm live when I'm
Yeah.
doing them. Otherwise, I have to wait for the upper deck to give me the approval. But nobody really watches my channel, so it's no big deal.
Do you press them afterwards after they're dry?
No, they dry and they're fine. They might have a little warp to them, but they're not bad.
Okay,
And
but
some of
these
the
actually go out in the packs.
yeah
You put them in a little top loader, Rex, and they flatten right out.
yeah they would. So here's WandaVision.
Must be wonderful if you found one of these. Of course, that helps sell the packs, more packs, right?
Oh, sure.
To seed these throughout the packs.
Yeah,
How many cards do you think you've done, Gary?
I've done a lot.
Yeah, hundreds,
Yeah, hundreds.
thousands.
I might have some. I did like Upper Deck seems to be mostly doing Marvel stuff, but I did do some stuff for Cryptozoic
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. So I did. Is this going to show this? So I did some Adventure Time.
Oh,
I'll go through these quicker. Oh, that's the agreement. Oops. Let's get out of there. That's right. Okay, so these are just some characters that they made up, and I did a bunch of them for them. So that
do you like kaiju movies, Gary?
you like Godzilla and stuff like that.
Godzilla, King Kong, things like that. Yeah.
I used to watch them a lot.
Uh-huh.
There's Ace.
Ace, the Bat Hound. Well,
There's
That's
Alfred.
awesome, dude.
So here's my DC stuff. This is from 2012.
this is borders on like fictional caricature, doesn't it? With the enlarged heads, and actually have an X-Men set back here that had the large heads and the smaller bodies.
Yeah, nowadays they almost call them not quite chibi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was chibi. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit chibi.
Oh, 2012 here with the Batgirl.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a cool one right there, Gary. Nice.
Thank you.
I like that too. That's kind of rough cut. Yeah,
a lot, not so much in these sketch cards, but a lot of it is about the lighting, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah.
Artwork like this piece.
Yeah.
That all
Totally.
hinges on kind of the light source, huh?
Yeah, very much.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to see if there's some Harlequin in here.
Oh, I see a little curl there. That has to have some maybe Berfogel or maybe Sienkiewicz influence, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love Sienkiewicz.
I kind of like the unpolished look of these.
No, I like that one right there. Dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Have any of these, say, like that Batman close-up, has that influenced your Titan stuff any at all?
Yeah, probably.
That's cool.
Little Frank Miller-ish influence
Mm-hmm.
there, maybe, with the lighting
That's it.
and just the fake.
That one's
the-
cool. Oh, there you go. Like that.
I'm Batman.
That's a classic. Ah, there you go.
I kind of like that with the goggles and everything. That look for
Ah,
Catwoman. I know it's a little
I'm not
slinky,
sure about
right?
the goggles on Catwoman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
Well, I mean, she's had Batman Beyond. You got to love that.
Yeah. Oh, I love Batman Beyond was cool, man.
Oh,
Oh,
Batmite
Batmite.
going way back to the, I
Wow.
guess,
I haven't
the
seen
50s.
Batmite in a while, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the Huntress?
Mm,
All right. You get them all in there. All right.
little Bat Cave.
Commissioner Gordon looking all cool.
Oh, the Creeper.
Oh, the Creeper.
That's a Steve
Nice.
Ditko creation. Oh, there's your Harley
There
Quinn.
you go.
There's your
There you
Harley
go.
Carey.
Well, I'm glad we at least found one. That'll make Carrie smile.
Oh,
It being her favorite character.
okay.
Just kind of like the Beast is for me.
Oh, that's another nice Huntress
That
right
is
there. I
nice. Yeah.
like that.
Very nice work. More realistic, and then I guess they kind of in the terms kind of ask you what you want, or
That's a cool
sometimes
Joker
they
variant. I like the.
Yeah, they
kind of give you the
basically,
theme and let you go. Do just about anything you want.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
pretty
really
much you
nice.
can do what you want, but it gets hard doing these. They're real small. They're like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
they
what is
think
it, 2.5 inches or something?
Is
They're,
that
was it
Katana or is
two and a
that
half by
another
3
character?
tall or something like
yeah,
that.
that's
But
Katana.
yeah, I think it's 2.5 wide by 3
Oh,
tall,
Killer
Gary.
Croc! Look
Or
at that
two and
Killer
three
Croc,
quarters, something like. They're small.
shriveled up body. Wow,
So
dripping.
it gets hard to, you're drawing the same thing over and over and over, like time, and it just after a while it just gets like, how can I do this different?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So then you go with different styles and stuff.
That's so cool. Oh, now who is that?
I don't even know. They give a list of characters that you
Is
can
this a
use.
new like bat character? I don't. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
something after you stop collecting, probably.
yeah, dude. Well, I gave up. I don't know if Gary knows or not, but I quit mainstream comics back in '99, early 2000, and I came back in 2018. But I'm all just pure indie now.
Oh, okay.
Well, Gary, I would love to carry on with you. I really would, and show some more of your stuff. Maybe you can come back and join us in the future. Uh,
Sure.
I
Yeah, that'd be great.
sadly have to go to work tonight. I was hoping they were canceled. It's actually been storming here, but I drive into another city, so
Okay.
All right, everyone. Well, just in case, I'm not sure yet. But if I'm required, I will be over on Mike Walters' uh stream tonight on his channel to co-host and wreck his place since he had to work.
thank you for that, Shadowhawk. Thank you for
I
remembering
yeah,
that.
I talked to Mike earlier, so if anybody wants to come by, it's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're 6:20 or so right now. Uh, hell,
It's time to go get some dinner, Gary, and say hello to your lovely wife for you and thank her for your time. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'll be
and
doing
thank you guys
drawing
for
stream
being
later
here and
tonight
Okay.
showing up.
Drawing stream later tonight. Any
on
particular time
Twitch.
on Twitch? Okay.
Probably in about 2 hours, I would
Okay.
say.
Uh,
Okay.
so, so catch Gary over there on Twitch in a couple hours. Keep collecting. Thanks for coming in and hitting the like button. And if anybody sub, thank you for that as well. Gary, it's been a real
Well,
pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.